Där, och så trycker du där.
Så jag är mitt i här.
Och så bara 2 sek. Då hör du det där och så på stream.
Okej. Där är vi live.
Ja.
Okay. Yes, I think we are ready to go. This is not a normal Banter Blitz. This is a time odds event. I'll be playing 10 games against specific opponents, and in each of those games I'll have 2 minutes against 5, and I'll try to yap a bit as well as they do. And I think the first game has already been gone. Been started. My Danish opponent has made a move, so I think I'll just get it started here. E3 is a move I played myself. It's a bit inoffensive. Usually not in combination with knight c3. Okay, let's go h5. Let's try and punish this Danish fella. It's a bit of a surprising choice there. Bishop h3 and then takes h4. Don't know what that is all about. Okay, we'll attack a bishop and develop with tempi. Now, if you take back, then you take the rook. Knight f3 is a good move, but it's a piece up for me already. Okay, we go back. d5. Develop the pieces. Easy. f4. It's a bit of a belated attempt to play the stonewall, but the stonewall is not it's not very good. A piece down, especially when you're missing the light squared bishop, which is covering a lot of squares. Yeah, knight b5. Don't know if that threatens a lot. Knight b4 I think is a bit more dangerous. Now, well, I can even take on c2 first, since that's not actually protected. And it looks like my opponent's position is kind of falling apart here. So, okay, there's the mate in 2. Okay, so first game was easy enough. Let's get going for another one as soon as I can figure out the technical bits. Okay. So I've sent challenge here, and and hopefully that will be accepted very soon. Okay, looks like I got myself an opponent, Florian from Switzerland, a little bit higher rated. So I assume this game will be a little bit more of a challenge, or we'll see. Anyway, the theme of the day is challenge your brain, and I hope to be able to do that. We got a Grünfeld defense here, a bit of a passive variation from white here, but nevertheless a reasonable choice. Sorry about that. Generally here, yeah, Sir Castles. I'm just going to play a Tarish, a tempo down, but the Tarish is not that great in opening, so even being a tempo down, I should be at least fine. H3, I think we'll see here. Otherwise, Bishop G4 comes. And usually in the Tarish, the bishop is on E2 or an E7. So yeah, H3 is a good move. Think takes knight A5 is a typical plan. And then, yeah, when the bishop goes away, then I go bishop E6. Knight G5, there's bishop C4. Very good play from my opponent so far, though. All the pieces on good squares. You know, classical chess. So, yeah, knight d5. Now I might lose e7, but I think I'll get a2 back, so that's not an issue. And it may not look that great to trade a flank pawn for central pawn, but I think I'll still have a good blockade over d5, so I'm not that worried. Yeah, my opponent is spending a lot of time, which I think is very reasonable. Still got sizable time advantage. So now bishop e7, I'll take on c1, and then rook e8 or rook c8. Probably rook c8. Not much to go on as to which one is better. Now I'll take on a2, and next probably knight c6 to consolidate. Maybe knight c4 also, attacking b2. Who knows? But it feels like my position is a bit better here. Knight g5 is an option, but maybe I can just meet that very coolly with bishop d5. And apart from that, I think knight c6 is a perfectly good option there. Well, knight c6, there's bishop c3, which is reasonably solid, but it's still fairly passive, so I don't think I should discourage it. Rook d8 now, putting pressure on d4. I think h6 is reasonable, preventing knight g5 forever. Yeah, we'll go queen d5, threatening d4. And next probably I'll go a5 and then b5. Try and kick the bishop away from c3. He has good knight e5 though. Just a bit annoying. It's actually really annoying. Yeah, that was not something that I should have allowed. Okay. Yeah, this was uncalled for. Maybe I should have gone knight e7 there, but I didn't really love it. Bishop c4. I'll go queen d6. And now I think queen b5. No. Queen b3 was my plan. This is just a blunder. Let's see if you'll see it. This is a tough game. Really tough game. Yeah, that's a good move. Okay, I'll take back. It wasn't that great a move though. Oh, this is no good. This is no good. My opponent, fortunately for me, has panicked here. No, you could have taken back, sir. You could have taken back. It was not hanging. But still, then I would have taken, then I would have gone b5 and a4, and I think that pawn was unstoppable. Bishop f4 now, exploiting some back rank themes. I will take d-pawn is running, but it's not running very far. Guess we'll just exchange the rooks, because why not? We'll just run and the pawn is unstoppable. Okay, in the end, fairly comfortable, but yeah, it was a little bit dicey there for a bit. And for all of those who are challenging me to normal games, that's not gonna happen this time. There'll be plenty of other opportunities for Banter Blitz, so don't worry. But this particular event is for 10 players who have qualified from the app to play odds games. Okay, let's see. An opponent has accepted my challenge. Mr. Epic Skills from India. Soumya Deep Chakraborty. That's probably Chakra butchered. the name. Okay. We'll get an Alapin Sicilian. Very solid system for white. A bit of a think here. Like, you should go e5. That's the only good move here. d4. This one is a little bit dubious, I think. I'll take e4 and then I'll take the pawn. White does have some compensation, but I don't think it's quite worth it. Especially now that I'm developing with Tempi. Oh, why didn't I take the bishop immediately? Like, you should certainly take the bishop pair when you can, most of the time. At least when it comes like without any particular problems, no, then you should just go ahead, take the bishop pair, and ask your opponent what they got, like, because you have a long, well, in this case I have a pawn up, but usually like you have a long-term advantage in terms of the bishop pair, and unless there's a concrete reason, then that's a good thing. Like, to me there's not a real discussion of style, whether you prefer knights or bishops. Like, bishops are just better, and then of course the scale of how much you value them, they can differ quite a lot, but in general bishops are better. And I would say that even in blitz, where like knights are supposed to be good, even in blitz I find that bishops are generally superior. But that's just me. Okay, so for now I'm developing quite normally. My opponent has played quite reasonably since losing that pawn early on, but yeah, it's definitely facing an uphill battle. Okay, so now there's a concrete reason to give up the bishop pair, which is to decisively weaken my opponent's king, and besides there's some tactics. So then you should not be as undogmatic. You should not be as dogmatic, that's to say, that you never exchange your bishops for knights. But I'm just saying you generally shouldn't. Now, it's a typical theme. When the king has no protection, then the rook can help from the third, or in this case the 6th rank, and then there's no defense against rook g6 now. Also, h4 comes in order to meet rook g6 with bishop g5. There is queen g4 check, and then taking on f3 with a knight, and that's going to result in some serious material losses. So it's looking pretty good for me. Okay, king h1, but this is desperation. I'm just taking the knight, and then that knight on f3 is unassailable. Cannot be sailed. Queen b1, don't know what that is all about. There's queen e5, then king g2. Let me see if I can calculate a mate real quick. Yeah, then rook g6, queen d5, bishop d6, that's mate. Okay, could have gone for knight d2 or something, just to win oceans of material, but I feel like it's kind of cleaner to go for checkmate. Yeah, rook d6 should be good. Queen h2 takes h3, bishop g6, then h6 was also perfectly clean. Let me see. There's no mate in 1. No. And we'll go for this. Okay. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah. Okay, so we got ourselves a really serious opponent here in Bambomato, Giuseppe Lettieri, who I've played before in the Play Live Challenge a few years ago. So good to see he's still very active on the Play Minus app. Okay, let's go for G6. And in that case, I had a hard time winning as white in the simul. So now with time odds, this is not gonna be easy at all. Okay, let me just go for this complicated line, which isn't very good, but who cares? At least my opponent is thinking. Just a good thing. Maybe this is not the order. Who knows? Yeah, ED6. This I'm not too worried about in general. Okay. Think I saw this somewhere. That you can just ED6, you can just go knight h6. Maybe here CD4. Well, CD4 there was bishop b4 perhaps. I think this is reasonable enough. But like the claim you're making is that black's position is sound after, like, let's say the whole center clears and I'm a pawn down. My bishops are going to be great on the diagonals, and also I might be crushed by knight d5 while I was talking. Oh boy. Yeah, this could be really ugly. All that talk and so little substance. Okay, we gotta go f6. This is properly ugly. Yeah, this is awful. But we'll hope to survive. My opponento is showing very little respect. Yeah, knight d4. This is good, of course. And I'm lost, of course, but hoping to sow some confusion here. Maybe queen's... Nah, it didn't matter actually. Okay. Okay. I have some hope. Like, my position is lost, but I have hope. Rook g7, and who knows, maybe there are some tricks. That's a good move. It's a really good move, actually. It's rook e5, which is pretty good. I'll have to take knight g6. I'll take, and then rook f8. And hopefully try and fight that way. Oh, this looks a little suspicious. How can I exploit it? This I have no clue. Okay, we'll try this. Rook g5. Hoping for some knight g4. It's intense. My opponent's getting short on time and hopefully a bit nervous. Okay, that's a good move. Very good move. Okay. Still hoping for some trickery. Oh, this doesn't work. Okay, then we'll go away. Have nothing here? No time. No time. You can't think that long, mister. Okay, we'll take. Hope for some tricks. Oh, that's a good move. Oh, that was a terrible time scramble. None of us were very fast there. Okay. Yeah, tough game. Can't say I'm impressed by my own play, and my opponent was just crushing me there for a bit. Okay. Let me see if I can get any more opponents here. Okay. Got ourselves another opponent from Mexico. Let's go for the old Caro-Kann defense. Knight f3 and cd5. That's a little bit surprising. Bishop e2 is a little bit passive though. My opponent gives me the invitation to grab a lot of space in the center, and I think I'm gonna say thank you very much. That is what I'll do. Yeah, this was, well, yeah, this is not perfect. I'll have to admit that. Now knight d2 and then c4. Okay. Okay. Oh, f3, this is dangerous. c4 should have been played there. Gotta use some more time, buddy. Because this is over. There's no salvation here. Knight f2 is a threat, and if rook e2, there's knight h2. Which is a knockout blow since there's mate after king h2, queen h4. Yeah, so rook e2 was played. Let me just see quickly if there's anything better. I don't think so. Just take h2. And there are lines now like knight f3. Then I can, for instance, take on f1, queen f1, then queen h4 check, knight takes, rook takes f1, king h2, and then take the bishop on c1. Don't know if that's the best, but I thought it was the cutest way to win. And not only is my opponent a piece down here, but there are also still serious issues with coordination and the king. Okay, we'll just grab. It's a little bit dull, and it's prosaic, but we'll just grab. Then rook on a1 is threatened, so or rather trapped. Okay, take. Now after king g1, I could take on g3, but I feel it's rather more thematic just to keep that little pin. Yeah, knight f3. I think I'll go rook e8, and this should be made very, very soon. Yeah, bishop c5, and now rook e2 is mate. It would have been mate after bishop d4 as well. That's why I pre-moved it. Okay, yeah, that was yeah, you gotta think a little more in the opening there, because otherwise you could blow your chances very quickly. Yeah. Okay, looks like we have another game from person from a Peruvian. So let's see if this game is gonna start soon. Okay, so we got e3 again. Why not? This time I'll grab some space in the center. Well, c4. Is d4 an option here? No, I don't think so. Okay, we'll play it simple then. No reason to spend 15 seconds on it, but then again, why not? Okay, we got ourselves a pretty normal Queen's Gambit type of line. And in those lines, e3 is not the most usual, but it's a perfectly reasonable way to play. Kind of trying to provoke e4, e5. Don't think it's too great, probably not too bad either though. Oh, queen c1. That could very well be a mouse slip. Probably queen c2 was the intention there. To protect e4. But yeah. That's the way it goes sometimes. Now, of course, I'm pawn up with a very, very healthy position. Probably rook c8 here. Maybe going c5 later on. Also bishop d6 followed by... yeah, okay, bishop d5 then. Shouldn't allow knight e5 for no reason. Whenever knight e5 comes, I think I'll just take it with the knight. Bishop d... Sorry, knight d2. Okay, I gotta play a bit faster. I'm really getting caught up in just... in hesitation. Okay, this is quite reasonable. I'll just trade it off. My opponent is playing very well though, I have to say. Since blundering a pawn early on, he's kind of playing better than I am. Okay, knight f6. Oh, bishop e7 is an issue. Didn't see that at first. I'm still very slightly better, but I'm no longer a pawn up. Guess we'll go h5 now. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough game to win. Not at all easy. I think we'll just go f6 and then activate the king. Try to get king king g4. Rook. Yeah, rook c1 is good active defense. Oh, rook c7 though. Yeah, that's true. I'm actually getting outplayed. Oh, rook f5, mouse slip, rook f6 there, and yeah, I had to go g5 maybe, but I was certainly a bit worse there, or probably a lot worse already. Okay, now it's of course completely winning for me. And should be plenty of time. Should be made in 2 here. Okay, I'm not gonna bother to try and find it. So we'll just take the mate in 3. Now rook c3 or rook c1. Okay, very, very tough game. My opponent played incredibly well there for a while, except for a couple of mouse slips. He outplayed me, which is pretty impressive.
So what are we missing? I think I can make it easier for you. I can erase the ones you played. Is that easier?
Yeah.
Those are the ones left, right?
Yeah, that should be true.
Great stuff, great stuff. I guess you can also mention that those who are playing, they are winners from the Play Magnus app. So you should download the app, because we will definitely have more competitions while you'll have a chance.
Yeah, that's true.
You.
That's true. Yeah, as Sebastian said, these are all the people who are playing here have played a bunch in the app, so we're very, very happy with that, of course. Okay.
He had spelled his name wrong, so I can help you with that. I'm sorry. There we go.
Okay. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. We have another challenge here going out, so I think game is hopefully gonna start very, very soon.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, sorry people, some waiting time here. Just okay, we'll challenge. Okay, not possible. Oh, there we go. No, I think I'm gonna get a game soon. Yeah, usually I'm the one who has to accept challenges, but now I am begging the people in this particular challenge to please accept my challenges. Otherwise, we're gonna be here for a very long time. Okay, looks like nobody is accepting my challenges, which is a bit annoying. Come on, people, we gotta get this show going. Oh, there we go. We have a game. Finally, Alexander Milinovic, Sweden, from Germany, apparently. Okay, we got ourselves a game. It's one of the qualifiers from Merck, who are sponsoring this event. Okay, there we go. 1e4, a beautiful sight. Oh, a gambit. This is gonna be interesting. Knight d4, that's surprising. Can't I take on e4 then? I'm hoping I can. I don't immediately see why not. Oh, this is no good. Because, yeah, no. d5 moves that attack the queen, attack a bishop, and develop your pieces. Those are usually good. That's the kind of wisdom you tune in for, I would say. And now a knight has dropped, and it's all looking very rosy for me. Okay, bishop d5. Maybe you can take on c2. Keep it simple. And I'm also setting a little trap, which is castles runs into knight e2 with a fork on the queen and the king. Rook f1. I don't think that's a lot better. Could be that my opponent is not used to playing online and try to castle this way. Either way, didn't really work out. Okay, I'll go b6, then bishop a6, try and checkmate this way. Okay, rook d1, I don't think that helps at all. Bishop a6, now king f3 is the only move. Then I think I'll just take on d1, and the end will be quite near. Okay. Take if king e4. Well, king e4 is the only move. Queen e4, there's queen d3, king e5, bishop d6, checkmate. And yeah, those seem to be the only legal moves that my opponent can make. Okay. Yeah, it was an interesting opening from my opponent, but then queen g4 sort of messed up the whole game in one move, which was a bit unfortunate. And then after that, it was very difficult. Okay, so I think we have 3 games to go if everybody's here. And we'll try to send some challenges. Okay, finally we have Torkil from Singapore. If this is just a Norwegian called Torkil, that would be funny. But who knows? Okay, let's assume my opponent is a Norwegian and play the Scandinavian. Move the queen away and start developing the pieces. A3, b4 to come perhaps. I'm preparing to drop the queen back then. Yeah, this is a little bit passive. My opponent is doing, it's perfectly reasonable, but nevertheless a bit passive. Okay, now we don't have to move the queen away, but I think we will. And then we'll just castle. And there's nothing wrong with my opponent's position at all, but I certainly do not experience any particular problems. Yeah, this I'm trying to change the structure a bit. Don't know if this was actually too brilliant. Okay, let's try and be thematic. Changing this one, then b5, and thinking of knight b6 to c4. Oh, b4, then I certainly will jump in. At least my opponent is playing very fast, and his opponent, his position is only a little bit worse. So I gotta say it's been a success for my opponent so far. think we'll take this square when I have the chance. Don't know if my opponent should have allowed that. Now, changing queens is not the most obvious choice when you have to win with little time, but I think it makes the position sort of easier to navigate. And now I think my opponent needed to go bishop d2 there first, because now there is no way to maintain the structure. Like this runs into rook a6 and then rook a5, and I think inevitably I'm going to win a pawn. Obviously it's gonna be tough to win still though. Okay, this was probably not ideal. c4 was a good option there. Yeah, my opponent is playing very well in general. Maybe c4 is the option still here. Why haven't I gone bishop d6? Okay, now that playing quite sloppily in this game. Okay, this was no good. My opponent should not have allowed me to get a pass pawn there in a pure bishop's ending. So now it's an automatic win. Yeah. Bishop a3 would only be good if somebody had pre-moved, because the pawn ending is very simple. Okay, yeah, good game. Very decent play for a long time there from my opponent. Okay, so 2 games to go now. Hopefully, yeah, there my opponent is right on cue. Love that. And then hopefully we'll get a couple of interesting games. Trying to play the Sicilian in this one, specifically the Najdorf. Let's see what my opponent will go for. Okay. We'll go for the classical Najdorf setup, not the Scheveningen. Okay, knight of 3, that's a good line. Often with bishop g5 to come. Rook e1. It's a little bit surprising to me. Maybe I'll go h6. Just to be able to play bishop e6 without any worries, and also not allow bishop g5. I might be walking into some knight h4 stuff though. Not sure. h3 is very reasonable, often connected with the plan of knight h2 and then knight g4, fighting for trying to exchange a knight and fight for the d5 square. b3 I'm not so sure about. Yeah, this I don't think is very good, because the c3 square is very weakened now. Like you would love it if the white pawn was on c4, but now there was a target on c3, and this I don't think works for him tactically. Seems like I can just win a pawn this way. Maybe knight e4 was possible there as well, but there was some knight takes e7, queen takes e7, and then bishop takes a6 perhaps. So I didn't really want to get into that. Now he does have some compensation with the bishop pair and a fairly harmonious position after, let's say, c4, but I don't think it's enough. Maybe speaking of the bishop here, maybe I'll get that off the board actually. Knight c3. Forcing the exchange of one of the bishops. And although, of course, opposite colored bishops have some drawing tendencies, unless he can establish a quick blockade over the light squares in the center, then I'm doing very, very well. Knight d2 is a logical move. Intending bishop f3. Knight d2, I will perhaps go for f5. Trying to control some squares. Although then there was knight f1. It's not so clear actually. After rook c1, I just go back. And it seems that I should be able to consolidate here. Actually, after rook c2, I'll actually just go d5. And e4, I think. The thing is, I'm not so worried about losing that pawn on d5, since it was sort of in the way there. Now I was hoping that he was gonna fall for this trick, since I think bishop b4 should win now.
Hello, Manos. Hi.
And there's a pin. The knight cannot be protected, and if knight c4, there is rook takes c4. Take an e1, and now I'm a knight up, and this should be easy enough. Queen c5 looks clean, forcing the exchange of queens, or take on e4, but then I'll take on f2, so that doesn't really bring him a whole lot of joy. And after queen c5, knight takes c5, I have a lovely blockade over his pawns, and besides I have an extra knight. It's all very rosy at the moment. I think g6, bishop c8, I'll go bishop e5 just to block everything. Now, to make matters even worse, my opponent has trapped his own bishop, very unfortunately, and there's not a lot of hope here. Okay, good game there. Just one or two tactics that was missed, but those things happen, of course. Okay, so that means that we have one game left, and let's just hope that Han Azam is here and ready to accept the challenge. Come on. Let's get this party started. You know you want to. You know you want to accept that challenge. Oh, there we go. Okay, last game of the day. Let's make it a good one. 1e4. Let's go for the Aljechin defense this time. Just vary my choices a bit. Okay, knight c3. Usually, of course, white goes d5 there. Oh, my opponent disconnected. Come on. Come back. Let's get a real game here. Yes. Looks like a reconnect. Okay, e5. Different choices there, knight e4, knight d7, d4. I go for knight e4. Why not? Knight c to e2 is the best move here. And then there are a bunch of options like f6, I think. f6 is possible. It's a little bit suspicious though. Probably more than a little bit. Okay. After takes, I'm pretty happy. Since the e4 and e5 pawns were probably about equally weak, and now I'm getting some pressure on the center immediately. Probably h3 was a good move there. Then if bishop h5, there was e6, throwing a bit of a spanner into the works, and otherwise, if bishop f3, queen f3, knight e5, queen b7, I don't think that would have been any good for me. e6 I don't really understand. It just seems to give up the pawn for preciously little. No, not even gonna exchange queens. Just very clean pawn up here, I think, with relatively few weaknesses as well. Oh, knight h4. Sorry, dude. That knight. Ooh. Wow, that is challenging my brain. I cannot understand the rationale behind that move. What? Well, I'll accept the gifts, of course. First the queen and then the knights. Gonna be a queen and a knight up. And with those odds, I'm usually quite good. Oh, I don't get any of the moves here. And now he's disconnecting. Ah, that's no good. That's no good. Come back and let's finish this off in a proper way. Okay, reconnect. Good.
Hello.
A lot to think about here.
Hello, Magnus. Can you hear us? Yeah, Magnus, nice experience to play with you. Um, yeah, hope I'll meet with you one day and play with you in official tournament. And congratulations, Magnus, for winning the Norway Chess 2020.
Okay, so looks like we're nearing the end here. Yeah, nice little mate into here. Bishop cannot, sorry, the queen cannot be taken because of the pin, and then queen g2 will be the kiss of death. Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit rocky at times.
Hi, Manos.
But finally finally a
Hello,
few decent games,
Magnus.
especially one where I was struggling quite a bit and easily could have lost. Thanks to PlayMinus and to Merc, and also thanks to everybody who spent a lot of time on the app and participated in this event. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, Magnus, for playing with us.